All right. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to This Is Not a Bible Study. We're on episode 7 now, and we came to 1 year since the Passover, almost a whole year in Sinai. And the tabernacle has been consecrated and raised up, and now we are in the book of Leviticus. And yeah, I know Leviticus has this reputation as being really awful to read. A big part of that is that we don't have much of an understanding of, well, what are all these rituals for? And the thing is, at least for a Christian understanding of the meaning of Leviticus, you really have to take a symbolic view. You have to look at the things that are going to come ahead. But we've reduced things to things perhaps that are going to be more practical going forward, that are definitely going to show up again in a clearer view. We'll see. Episode 7, The Laws of the Priests. And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Command Aaron and his sons. This is the law of a holocaust. It shall be burnt upon the altar all night until morning. The fire shall be of the same altar. The priest shall be vested with the tunic and the linen breeches, and he shall take up the ashes of that which the devouring fire has burnt. And putting them beside the altar, he shall put off his former vestments, and being clothed with others, shall carry them out of the camp. And he shall cause them to be consumed to dust in a very clean place. And the fire on the altar shall always burn, and the priest shall feed it, putting wood on it every day in the morning. And laying on the holocaust shall burn thereon the fat of the peace offerings. This is the perpetual fire which shall never go out on the altar. This is the law of the sacrifice and libations, which the children of Aaron shall offer before the Lord before the altar. The priest shall take a handful of the flour that is tempered with oil, and all the frankincense that is put upon the flour, and he shall burn on the altar for a memorial of a most sweet odor to the Lord. And the part of the flour that is left, Aaron and his sons shall eat, without leaven, and he shall eat it in the holy place of the court of the tabernacle. And therefore it shall not be leavened, because part thereof is offered for the burnt sacrifice of the Lord. It shall be most holy, and that which is offered for sin and for trespass. The males only of the race of Aaron shall eat it. It shall be an ordinance everlasting in your generations concerning the sacrifices of the Lord. Every one that touches them shall be sanctified. And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, This is the oblation of Aaron and of his sons, which they must offer to the Lord in the day of their anointing. They shall offer the 10th part of an ephah of flour for a perpetual sacrifice, half of it in the morning, and half of it in the evening. It shall be tempered with oil, and shall be fried in a frying pan. And the priest that rightfully succeeds his father shall offer it hot, for a most sweet odor to the Lord. And it shall be wholly burnt on the altar. For every sacrifice of the priest shall be consumed with fire, neither shall any man eat of it. And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Say to Aaron and his sons, This is the law of the victim for sin. In the place where the holocaust is offered, it shall be immolated before the Lord. It is holy of holies. The priest that offers it shall eat it in a holy place, in the court of the tabernacle. Whatsoever shall touch the flesh of it shall be sanctified. If a garment be sprinkled with its blood, it shall be washed in a holy place. And the earthen vessel wherein it was sodden shall be broken. But if the vessel be of brass, it shall be scoured and washed with water. Every male of the priestly race shall eat of the flesh of it because it is holy of holies. For the victim that is slain for sin, the blood of which is carried into the tabernacle of the testimony to make atonement in the sanctuary shall not be eaten, but shall be burnt with fire. This is the law of the sacrifice for a trespass. It is most holy. Therefore, where the holocaust is immolated, the victim also for trespass shall be slain. The blood of it shall be poured round about the altar. They shall offer of it the rump and the fat that covers the entrails, the 2 little kidneys, and the fat which is by the flanks, and the caul of the liver with the little kidneys. And the priest shall burn them upon the altar. It is the burnt sacrifice of the Lord for a trespass. Every male of the priestly race shall eat this flesh in a holy place, because it is most holy. As the sacrifice for sin is offered, so is also that for a trespass. The same shall be the law of both these sacrifices. It shall belong to the priest that offers it. The priest that offers the victim of holocaust shall have the skin of it. And every sacrifice of flour that is baked in the oven, and whatever is dressed on the gridiron or in the frying pan, shall be the priest's that offers it. Whether they be tempered with oil or dry, all the sons of Aaron shall have one as much as another. This is the law of the sacrifice of peace offerings that is offered to the Lord. If the oblation be for thanksgiving, they shall offer loaves without leaven, tempered with oil, and unleavened wafers anointed with oil, and fine flour fried, and cakes tempered and mingled with oil. Moreover, loaves of leavened bread with the sacrifice of thanks, which is offered for peace offerings, of which one shall be offered to the Lord for first fruits, and shall be the priest that shall pour out the blood of the victim. And the flesh of it shall be eaten the same day, neither shall any of it remain until the morning. If any man by vow or of his own accord offer a sacrifice, it shall in like manner be eaten the same day. And if any of it remain until the morning, it is lawful to eat it. But whatever shall be found on the 3rd day shall be consumed with fire. If any man eat of the flesh of the victim of peace offerings on the 3rd day, the oblation shall be of no effect, neither shall it profit the offerer. Yea, rather, whatever soul shall defile itself with such meat shall be guilty of transgression. The flesh that has touched any unclean thing shall not be eaten, but shall be burnt with fire. He that is clean shall eat of it. If any one that is defiled shall eat of the flesh of the sacrifice of peace offerings, which is offered to the Lord, he shall be cut off from his people. And he that touched the uncleanness of man or of beast or of anything that can defile, and shall eat of such flesh, shall be cut off from his people. Incidentally, I will throw in here that this last form, the oblation of thanksgiving, is the only sacrifice that is said will be offered in the time of the Messiah. And indeed, the sacrifice of thanksgiving we see in the form of bread is indeed the Eucharist. And it's interesting to hear the note here that one must be clean to eat of this. Clean, of course, being a symbol for being in a state of grace. And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Say to the children of Israel, The fat of a sheep and of an ox and of a goat you shall not eat. The fat of a carcass that has died of itself, and of a beast that was caught by another beast you shall have for diverse uses. If any man eat the fat that should be offered for the burnt sacrifice of the Lord, he shall perish out of his people. Moreover, you shall not eat the blood of any creature whatsoever, whether of birds or beasts. Every one that eats blood shall perish from among the people. And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to the children of Israel, saying, He that offers a victim of peace offerings to the Lord, let him offer with it a sacrifice also, that is, the libations thereof. He shall hold in his hands the fat of the victim and the breast. And when he is offered and consecrated both to the Lord, he shall deliver them to the priest, who shall burn the fat upon the altar. But the breast shall be Aaron's and his sons'. The right shoulder also of the victim of the peace offerings shall fall to the priest for firstfruits. He among the sons of Aaron that offers the blood and the fat, he shall have the right shoulder also for his portion. For the breast that is elevated and the shoulder that is separated I have taken of the children of Israel from off their victims of peace offerings, and have given them to Aaron the priest and to his sons by a law forever from all the people of Israel. This is the anointing of Aaron and his sons in the ceremonies of the Lord, in the day when Moses offered them that they might do the office of priesthood, and the things that the Lord commanded to be given them by the children of Israel by a perpetual observance in their generations. This is the law of holocaust, and of the sacrifice for sin, and for trespass, and for consecration, and the victims of peace offerings, which the Lord appointed to Moses in Mount Sinai, when he commanded the children of Israel that they should offer their oblations to the Lord in the desert of Sinai. And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Take Aaron with his sons, their vestments, and the oil of unction, a calf for sin, 2 rams, and a basket with unleavened bread. And you shall gather together all the congregation to the door of the tabernacle. And Moses did as the Lord had commanded. And all the multitude being gathered together before the door of the tabernacle, he said, This is the word that the Lord has commanded to be done. And immediately he offered Aaron and his sons. And when he had washed them, he vested the high priest with the straight linen garment, girding him with the girdle, and putting on him the violet tunic. And over it he put the ephod. And binding it with the girdle, he fitted it to the rational, on which was doctrine and truth. He also put the mitre upon his head, and upon the mitre over the forehead he put the plate of gold, consecrated with sanctification, as the Lord had commanded him. He took also of the oil of unction, with which he anointed the tabernacle with all the furniture of it. And when he had sanctified and sprinkled the altar 7 times, he anointed it and all the vessels thereof. And the laver with the foot thereof he sanctified with the oil. And he poured it upon Aaron's head, and he anointed and consecrated him. And after he offered his sons, he vested them with linen tunics, and girded them with girdles, and put mitres on them as the Lord had commanded. And stretching forth his hands to the people, he blessed them. And so the victims for sin and the holocaust and the peace offerings being finished, he came down. And Nadab and Abihu, the sons of Aaron, taking their censers, put fire in them and incense on it, offering before the Lord strange fire, which was not commanded them. And fire coming out from the Lord destroyed them, and they died before the Lord. And Moses said to Aaron, This is what the Lord has spoken. I will be sanctified in them that approach me, and I will be glorified in the sight of all the people. And when Aaron heard this, he held his peace. And Moses called Mishael and Elishaphan, the sons of Oziel, the uncle of Aaron, and said to them, Go and take away your brethren from before the sanctuary, and carry them outside the camp. And they went right away, and took them as they lay, vested with linen tunics, and cast them out as had been commanded them. And Moses said to Aaron, and to Eleazar and Ithamar his sons, Do not uncover your heads, and do not rend your garments, lest perhaps you die, and indignation come upon all the congregation. Let your brethren and all the house of Israel bewail the burning which the Lord has kindled. But you shall not go out of the door of the tabernacle, otherwise you shall perish, for the oil of the holy unction is on you." And they did all things according to the precept of Moses. The Lord also said to Aaron, "You shall not drink wine nor anything that may make drunk, you nor your sons, when you enter into the tabernacle of the testimony, lest you die. Because it is an everlasting precept, through your generations, and that you may have knowledge to discern between holy and unholy, between unclean and clean, and may teach the children of Israel all my ordinances, which the Lord has spoken to them by the hand of Moses." And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, "Speak to the children of Israel, and you shall say to them, If a woman having received seed shall bear a man-child, she shall be unclean 7 days, according to the days of the separation of her flowers. And on the 8th day the infant shall be circumcised, but she shall remain 33 days in the blood of her purification. She shall touch no holy thing, neither shall she enter into the sanctuary until the days of her purification be fulfilled. But if she bear a maid child, she shall be unclean 2 weeks, according to the custom of her monthly courses, and she shall remain in the blood of her purification 66 days. And when the days of her purification are expired, for a son or for a daughter, she shall bring to the door of the tabernacle the testimony, a lamb of a year old for a holocaust, and a young pigeon or a turtle dove for sin, and shall deliver them to the priest, who shall offer them before the Lord and shall pray for her, and so she shall be cleansed from the issue of her blood. This is the law for her that bears a man-child or a maid-child. And if her hand does not find sufficiency, and she is not able to offer a lamb, she shall take 2 turtle doves or 2 young pigeons, one for a holocaust and another for sin. And the priest shall pray for her, and so she shall be cleansed." And the Lord spoke to Moses and Aaron, saying, "The man in whose skin or flesh shall arise a different color or a blister, or as it were something shining, that is the stroke of leprosy, and shall be brought to Aaron the priest, or any of his sons. And if you see the leprosy in his skin, and the hair turned white, and the place where the leprosy appears lower than the skin and the rest of the flesh, it is the stroke of the leprosy, and upon his judgment he shall be separated. But if there be a shining whiteness in the skin, and not lower than the other flesh, and the hair be of the former color, the priest shall shut him up 7 days. And the 7th day he shall look on him, and if the leprosy be grown no farther, and has not spread itself into the skin, he shall shut him up again other 7 days. And on the 7th day he shall look on him. If the leprosy be somewhat obscure, and not spread in the skin, he shall declare him clean, because it is but a scab. And the man shall wash his clothes, and shall be clean. But if the leprosy grow again, after he was seen by the priest and restored to cleanness, he shall be brought to him, and he shall be condemned of uncleanness. And he shall have his clothes hanging loose, his head bare, his mouth covered with a cloth, and he shall cry out that he is defiled and unclean. All the time that he is a leper and unclean, he shall dwell alone outside the camp. And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, "This is the right of a leper when he is to be cleansed. He shall be brought to the priest, who going out of the camp, when he shall find that the leprosy is cleansed, shall command him that is to be purified to offer for himself 2 living sparrows, which it is lawful to eat, and cedar wood, and scarlet, and hyssop. And when the man has washed his clothes, he shall shave all the hair of his body, and shall be washed with water. And being purified, he shall enter into the camp, yet so that he tarry outside his own tent 7 days. And on the 7th day he shall shave the hair of his head, and his beard, and his eyebrows, and the hair of all his body. and having washed his clothes again and his body. And the Lord spoke to Moses after the death of the two sons of Aaron, when they were slain upon their offering strange fire. And he commanded him, saying, Speak to Aaron your brother, that he enter not into all the sanctuary, which is within the veil before the propitiatory, with which the ark is covered, lest he die. For I will appear in a cloud over the oracle, unless he do these things first. He shall offer a calf for sin, and a ram for holocaust. He shall be vested with a linen tunic. He shall cover his nakedness with linen breeches. He shall be girded with a linen girdle, and he shall put a linen mitre upon his head, for these are holy vestments. All which he shall put on after he is washed. And he shall receive from the whole multitude of the children of Israel 2 buck goats for sin, and 1 ram for a holocaust. And when he has offered the cattle, and prayed for himself and for his own house, he shall make the 2 buck goats to stand before the Lord in the door of the tabernacle of the testimony, and casting lots upon them both, one to be offered to the Lord, and the other to be the emissary goat. That whose lot fell to be offered to the Lord, he shall offer for sin. But that whose lot was to be the emissary goat, he shall be present before the Lord, that he may pour prayers upon him, and let him go into the wilderness. After these things are duly celebrated, he shall offer the calf, and praying for himself and for his own house, he shall immolate it. And taking the censer, which he has filled with the burning coals of the altar, and taking up with his hands the compounded perfume for incense, he shall go in within the veil into the holy place, that when the perfumes are put upon the fire, the cloud and vapor thereof may cover the oracle which is over the testimony, and he may not die. He shall take also of the blood of the calf, and sprinkle with his finger 7 times toward the propitiatory to the east. And when he has killed the buck goat for the sin of the people, he shall carry in the blood thereof within the veil, as he was commanded to do with the blood of the calf, that he may sprinkle it over against the oracle, and may expiate the sanctuary from the uncleanness of the children of Israel, and from their transgressions and all their sins. According to this rite shall he do to the tabernacle of the testimony, which is fixed among them in the midst of their filth of their habitation. Let no man be in the tabernacle when the high priest goes into the sanctuary to pray for himself and his house, and for the whole congregation of Israel, until he come out. And when he is come out to the altar that is before the Lord, let him pray for himself, and taking the blood of the calf and of the buck goat, let him pour it upon the horns thereof round about, and sprinkling with his finger 7 times, let him expiate and sanctify it from the uncleanness of the children of Israel. After he has cleaned the sanctuary and the tabernacle and the altar, then let him offer the living goat. And putting both hands upon his head, let him confess all the iniquities of the children of Israel, and all their offenses and sins. And praying that they may light on its head, he shall turn him out by a man ready for it into the desert. And when the goat has carried all their iniquities into an uninhabited land, and shall be let go out into the desert, Aaron shall return into the tabernacle of the testimony, and putting off the vestments which he had on him before when he entered into the sanctuary, and leaving them there, he shall wash his flesh in the holy place, and shall put on his own garments. And after he has come out, and has offered his own holocaust and that of the people, he shall pray both for himself and for the people. And the fat that is offered for sins he shall burn on the altar. But he that has let go the emissary goat shall wash his clothes and his body with water, and so shall enter into the camp. The calf and the buck goat that were sacrificed for sin, and whose blood was carried into the sanctuary to accomplish the atonement, they shall carry forth outside the camp, and shall burn with fire, their skins and their flesh and their dung. And whoever burns them shall wash his clothes and flesh with water, and so shall enter into the camp. And this shall be to you an everlasting ordinance. The 7th month, the 10th day of the month, you shall afflict your souls, and shall do no work, whether it be one of your own country or a stranger that sojourns among you. Upon this day shall be the expiation for you, and the cleansing from all your sins. You shall be cleansed before the Lord, for it is a Sabbath of rest, and you shall afflict your souls by a perpetual religion. And the priest that is anointed, and whose hands are consecrated to do the office of the priesthood in his father's stead, shall make atonement. And he shall be vested with the linen robe and the holy vestments. And he shall expiate the sanctuary and the tabernacle, the testimony and the altar, the priest also and all the people. And this shall be an ordinance forever, that you pray for the children of Israel and for all their sins once a year. He did therefore as the Lord had commanded Moses. The Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to all the congregation of the children of Israel, and you shall say to them, Be holy, because I, the Lord your God, am holy. Let every one fear his father and his mother. Keep my Sabbaths. I am the Lord your God. Turn not to idols, nor make to yourselves molten gods. I am the Lord your God. If you offer in the sacrifice a peace offering to the Lord, that he may be favorable, you shall eat it on the same day it was offered, and the next day. And whatever shall be left until the 3rd day you shall burn with fire. If after 2 days any man eat of it, he shall be profane and guilty of impiety. And he shall bear his iniquity, because he has defiled the holy thing of the Lord, and that soul shall perish from among his people. When you reap the corn of your land, you shall not cut down all that is on the face of the earth to the very ground. Nor shall you gather the ears that remain. Neither shall you gather the bunches and grapes that fall down in your vineyard, but shall leave them to the poor and the strangers to take. I am the Lord your God. You shall not steal, you shall not lie, neither shall any man deceive his neighbor. You shall not swear falsely by my name, nor profane the name of your God. I am the Lord. You shall not calumniate your neighbor, nor oppress him by violence. The wages of him that has been hired by you shall not abide with you until the morning. You shall not speak evil of the deaf, nor put a stumbling block before the blind, but you shall fear the Lord your God, because I am the Lord. You shall not do that which is unjust, nor judge unjustly. Do not respect the person of the poor, nor honor the face of the mighty. But judge your neighbor according to justice. You shall not be a detractor nor a whisperer among the people. You shall not stand against the blood of your neighbor. I am the Lord. You shall not hate your brother in your heart, but reprove him openly, lest you incur sin through him. Seek not revenge, nor be mindful of the injury of your citizens. You shall love your friend as yourself. I am the Lord. Keep my laws. You shall not make your cattle to gender with beasts of any other kind. You shall not sow your field with different seeds. You shall not wear a garment that is woven of 2 sorts. If a man carnally lie with a woman that is a bondservant and marriageable, and yet not redeemed with a price, nor made free, they shall both be scourged, and they shall not be put to death, because she was not a free woman. And for his trespass he shall offer a ram to the Lord at the door of the tabernacle of the testimony. And the priest shall pray for him and for his sin before the Lord, and he shall have mercy on him, and the sin shall be forgiven. When you shall be come into the land, and shall have planted in it fruit trees, you shall take away the firstfruits of them, The fruit that comes forth shall be unclean to you, neither shall you eat of them. But in the 4th year all their fruit shall be sanctified to the praise of the Lord. And in the 5th year you shall eat the fruits thereof, gathering the increase thereof. I am the Lord your God. You shall not eat with blood. You shall not divine, nor observe dreams. Nor shall you cut your hair roundwise, nor shave your beard. You shall not make any cuttings in your flesh for the dead, neither shall you make in yourselves any figures or marks. I am the Lord. Do not make your daughter a common strumpet, lest the land be defiled and filled with wickedness. Keep my Sabbaths and reverence my sanctuary. I am the Lord. Do not go after wizards, neither ask anything of soothsayers to be defiled by them. I am the Lord your God. Rise up before the hoary head, and honor the person of the aged man, and fear the Lord your God. I am the Lord. If a stranger dwell in your land and abide among you, do not upbraid him, but let him be among you as one of the same country. You shall love him as yourself, for you were strangers in the land of Egypt. I am the Lord your God. Do not do any unjust thing in judgment, in rule, in weight, or in measure. Let the balance be just and the weights equal, the bushel just and the sextary equal. I am the Lord your God, that brought you out of the land of Egypt. Keep all my precepts and all my judgments, and do them. I am the Lord. And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to the children of Israel, and you shall say to them, These are the feasts of the Lord, which you shall call holy. 6 days shall you do work. The 7th day, because it is the rest of the Sabbath, shall be called holy. You shall do no work on that day. It is the Sabbath of the Lord in all your habitations. These also are the holy days of the Lord, which you must celebrate in their seasons. The 1st month, the 14th day of the month at evening, is the Passover of the Lord. And the 15th day of the same month is the solemnity of the unleavened bread of the Lord. 7 days shall you eat unleavened bread. The 1st day shall be most solemn to you, and holy, and you shall do no servile work therein, but you shall offer sacrifice in the fire to the Lord 7 days. And the 7th day shall be more solemn and more holy, and you shall do no servile work therein. And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to the children of Israel, and you shall say to them, When you shall have entered into the land which I will give you, and shall reap your corn, you shall bring sheaves of ears, the firstfruits of your harvest, to the priest, who shall lift up the sheaf before the Lord the next day after the Sabbath, that it may be acceptable for you, and shall sanctify it. And on the same day that the sheaf is consecrated, a lamb without blemish of the 1st year shall be killed for a holocaust to the Lord. And the libation shall be offered with it, 2/10 of flour tempered with oil for a burnt offering of the Lord, and a most sweet odor. Libations also of wine, the 4th part of a hin. You shall not eat either bread, or parched corn, or frumenti of the harvest, until the day that you shall offer thereof to your God. It is a precept forever throughout your generations and all your dwellings. You shall count, therefore, from the morrow after the Sabbath, wherein you offer the sheaf of firstfruits, 7 full weeks. Even unto the morrow after the 7th week be expired, that is to say, 50 days, and you shall offer a new sacrifice to the Lord. Out of all your dwellings, 2 loaves of the firstfruits, of 2/10 of flour leavened, which you shall bake for the firstfruits of the Lord. And you shall offer with the loaves 7 lambs without blemish of the 1st year, and 1 calf from the herd, and 2 rams, and they shall be for a holocaust with their libations for a most sweet odor to the Lord. You shall offer also a buck goat for sin, and 2 lambs of the 1st year for sacrifices and peace offerings. And when the priest has lifted them up with the loaves of the firstfruits before the Lord, they shall fall to his use. And you shall call this day most solemn and most holy. You shall do no servile work therein. It shall be an everlasting ordinance in all your dwellings and generations. And when you reap the corn of your land, you shall not cut it to the very ground, neither shall you gather the ears that remain, but you shall leave them for the poor and for the strangers. I am the Lord your God. And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Say to the children of Israel, the 7th month, on the 1st day of the month, you shall keep a Sabbath, a memorial, with the sound of trumpets, and it shall be called holy. You shall do no servile work therein, and you shall offer a holocaust to the Lord. And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, On the 10th day of this 7th month shall be the day of atonement. It shall be most solemn, and shall be called holy. And you shall afflict your souls on that day, and shall offer a holocaust to the Lord. You shall do no servile work in the time of this day, because it is a day of propitiation, that the Lord your God may be merciful to you. Every soul that is not afflicted on this day shall perish from among his people, and every soul that shall do any work, the same will I destroy from among his people. You shall do no work, therefore, on that day. It shall be an everlasting ordinance to you in all your generations and dwellings. It is a Sabbath of rest, and you shall afflict your souls beginning on the 9th day of the month. From evening until evening you shall celebrate your Sabbaths. And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Say to the children of Israel, From the 15th day of this same 7th month shall be kept the Feast of Tabernacles 7 days to the Lord. The first day shall be called most solemn and most holy. You shall do no servile work therein. In 7 days you shall offer holocaust to the Lord. The 8th day also shall be most solemn and most holy, and you shall offer holocaust to the Lord, for it is the day of assembly and congregation. You shall do no servile work therein. These are the feasts of the Lord, which you shall call most solemn and most holy, and shall offer on them oblations to the Lord, holocaust and libations according to the rite of every day, besides the Sabbaths of the Lord, and your gifts and those things that you offer by vow, or which you shall give to the Lord voluntarily. So from the 15th day of the 7th month, when you shall have gathered in all the fruits of your land, you shall celebrate the feast of the Lord 7 days, and on the 1st day and the 8th shall be a Sabbath, that is the day of rest. And you shall take to you on the 1st day the fruits of the fairest tree, and branches of palm trees, and boughs of thick trees, and willows of the brook, and you shall rejoice before the Lord your God. And you shall keep the solemnity thereof 7 days in the year. It shall be an everlasting ordinance in your generations. In the 7th month shall you celebrate this feast, and you shall dwell in bowers 7 days. Every one that is of the race of Israel shall dwell in tabernacles, that your posterity may know that I made the children of Israel to dwell in tabernacles when I brought them out of the land of Egypt. I am the Lord your God. And Moses spoke concerning the feast of the Lord to the children of Israel. And the Lord spoke to Moses in Mount Sinai, saying, Speak to the children of Israel, and you shall say to them, When you shall have entered into the land which I will give you, observe the rest of the Sabbath of the Lord. 6 years you shall sow your field, and 6 years you shall prune your vineyard, and shall gather the fruits thereof. But in the 7th year there shall be a Sabbath to the land, of the resting of the Lord. You shall not sow your field, nor prune your vineyard. What the ground shall bring forth of itself, you shall not reap, neither shall you gather the grapes or the firstfruits as a vintage, for it is a year of rest to the land. But they shall be to you for food, and to you and your manservant, and to your maidservant and your hireling, and to the strangers that sojourn there. All things that grow shall be food to your beasts and to your cattle. You shall also number to you 7 weeks of years, that is to say, 7 times 7, which together make 49 years. And you shall sound the trumpet in the 7th month, the 10th day of the month, in the time of the expiation in all your land. And you shall sanctify the 50th year, and shall proclaim remission to all the inhabitants of your land, for it is the year of Jubilee. Every man shall return to his possession, and every one shall go back to his former family, because it is the Jubilee and the 50th year. You shall not sow nor reap the things that grow in the field of their own accord, neither shall you gather the firstfruits of the vines, because of the sanctification of the Jubilee. But as they grow, you shall presently eat them. In the year of the Jubilee, all shall return to their possessions. When you shall sell anything to your neighbor, or shall buy of him, do not grieve your brother. But you shall buy of him according to the number of years from the Jubilee, and he shall sell to you according to the computation of the fruits. The more years remain after the Jubilee, the more shall the price increase, and the less time is counted, so much less the purchase cost. For he shall sell to you the time of the fruits. Do not afflict your countrymen, but let every one fear his God, because I am the Lord your God. Do my precepts and keep my judgments and fulfill them, that you may dwell in the land without any fear. And the ground may yield you its fruits, of which you may eat your fill, fearing no man's invasion. But if you say, what shall we eat the 7th year, if we do not sow nor gather our fruits? I will give you my blessing the 6th year, and it shall yield the fruits of 3 years. In the 8th year you shall sow, and shall eat of the old fruits until the 9th year, till new grow up, and you shall eat the old store. The land also shall not be sold forever, because it is mine, and you are strangers and sojourners with me. For which cause all the country of your possession shall be under the condition of redemption. If your brother, being impoverished, sell his little possession, and his kinsman will, he may redeem what he has sold. But if he have no kinsman, and he himself can find the price to redeem it, the value of the fruit shall be counted from that time when he sold it. And the overplus he shall restore to the buyer, and so shall receive his possession again. But if his hands do not find the means to repay the price, the buyer shall have what he bought until the year of Jubilee. For in that year all that is sold shall return to the owner and to the ancient possessor. If your brother be impoverished and weak of hand, and you receive him as a stranger and sojourner, and he live with you, do not take usury of him, nor more than you gave. Fear your God, that your brother may live with you. You shall not give him your money upon usury, nor exact of him any increase of fruits. I am the Lord your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, that I might give you the land of Canaan, and might be your God. If your brother constrained by poverty sell himself to you, you shall not oppress him with the service of bondservants, but he shall be as a hireling and a sojourner. He shall work with you until the year of Jubilee, and afterwards he shall go out with his children, and shall return to his kindred and to the possession of his fathers. For they are my servants, and I brought them out of the land of Egypt. Let them not be sold as bondsmen. Afflict him not by might, but fear your God. Let your bondmen and your bondwomen be of the nations that are round about you, and of the strangers that sojourn among you, or that were born of them in your land. These you shall have for servants, and by right of inheritance shall leave them to your posterity, and shall possess them forever. But do not oppress your brethren, the children of Israel, by might. If you walk in my precepts, and keep my commandments and do them, I will give you rain in due seasons, and the ground shall bring forth its increase, and the trees shall be filled with fruit. The threshing of your harvest shall reach to the vintage, and the vintage shall reach unto the sowing time, and you shall eat your bread to the full, and dwell in your land without fear. I will give peace in your coasts. You shall sleep, and there shall be none to make you afraid. I will take away evil beasts, and the sword shall not pass through your quarters. You shall pursue your enemies, and they shall fall before you. 5 of yours shall pursue 100 others, and 100 of you 10,000. Your enemies shall fall before you by the sword. I will look on you and make you increase. You shall be multiplied, and I will establish my covenant with you. You shall eat the oldest of the old store, and new coming on you shall cast away the old. I will set my tabernacle in the midst of you, and my soul shall not cast you off. I will walk among you, and will be your God, and you shall be my people. I am the Lord your God, who have brought you out of the land of the Egyptians, that you should not serve them, and who have broken the chains of your necks, that you might go upright. Thus far the words of Leviticus.